On a quiet July night in 2015, something extraordinary happened inside Mexico's most secure prison. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the infamous drug lord, walked calmly to his cell's shower. Guards watched him step behind the privacy wall. Seconds later, he vanished. No alarm sounded. The security cameras kept rolling, but El Chapo was gone. For the staff at Altiplano prison, this was unthinkable. Altiplano was meant to be escape-proof, built to hold Mexico's most dangerous criminals. Yet now, one of the world's most wanted men had seemingly disappeared into thin air. Panic spread. The guards searched every corner, every corridor. Still, no sign of El Chapo. The world soon heard the news. El Chapo, leader of the powerful Sinaloa cartel, had escaped. People everywhere asked the same question. How? Was it magic or something more sinister? Cameras showed him stepping into the shower. But after that, nothing. Just an empty cell, a running shower, and a sense of dread. The escape was a blow, not just to Mexican authorities, but to the image of prison security worldwide. The hunt was on. But first, investigators had to solve the riddle. Where had El Chapo gone? As dawn broke, search teams combed the prison from top to bottom. In El Chapo's cell, they found something strange. The shower area's floor sounded hollow. Guards pulled away a tile and made the shocking discovery: a small hole just big enough for a man to squeeze through. The hole led to a steep ladder descending into darkness. At the bottom lay a narrow, dirt-lined tunnel. Investigators stared in disbelief. The tunnel ran straight away from the prison, deeper underground. Its entrance was hidden perfectly within the shower, beyond cameras' reach. No ordinary prisoner could have managed this. The tunnel stretched for over a kilometer. It was barely wider than a man's shoulders, but high enough to crouch and move quickly. The air was damp and cold. Investigators followed the path, flashlights in hand, crawling where the tunnel narrowed. At the far end, the tunnel reached a small, ramshackle house outside the prison walls. This was the true escape route, a secret passage from the heart of a maximum security prison to freedom. The tunnel was more than just a hole in the ground. As authorities explored further, they were stunned by its features. Electric lights lined the ceiling, illuminating the path. Ventilation tubes pumped in fresh air, making the journey possible. The walls were reinforced with wood and concrete, preventing collapse. But the most dramatic detail was a customized motorcycle. It sat on rails like a tiny underground train. The motorcycle was rigged to run along the tracks, carrying tools, dirt, and even El Chapo himself. Investigators could see marks in the tunnel where the bike had sped through, a testament to the boldness of the plan. The tunnel had been carefully engineered. There were even outlets for power tools and a drainage system to keep water out. Every detail was designed for speed and secrecy. This was not the work of amateurs. It was the work of experts. The tunnel did not end in the wild. Instead, its exit was hidden beneath the floor of a plain-looking house in a nearby field. From the outside, the house looked abandoned, but inside, a ladder led down into darkness and the secret tunnel. Neighbors said they barely noticed any activity around the house. Construction noises were muffled, hidden by well-timed work and the house's remote location. Guards at the prison had no reason to suspect that just beneath their noses, a massive escape operation was underway. The house had been rented months before the escape. It was fitted with equipment for digging and hauling dirt. Trucks came and went quietly, removing soil at night. When El Chapo emerged from the tunnel, a getaway car was waiting. He vanished into the countryside, leaving chaos behind. Building such a tunnel was a huge job. Experts later estimated it took over a year to plan and construct. Tons of earth had to be removed, without anyone noticing. Workers needed to avoid detection by the prison's censors and guards, as well as local residents. Suspicion quickly fell on corruption. Could such an operation happen without help from inside? Many believed it was impossible. Guards may have ignored suspicious noises or failed to report unusual activity. Some may have been bribed to look the other way. Corruption was a common problem in Mexico's prisons, and this escape seemed to prove it. The escape tested the limits of human ingenuity and secrecy. Every stage was planned with military precision. Yet it also revealed just how vulnerable even the most secure institutions could be when money and fear were involved. El Chapo did not enjoy his freedom for long. The escape triggered an international manhunt, and, well, the Mexican government faced heavy criticism. US agencies joined the search too, tracking phone calls, emails, and known associates. There were rumors placing him everywhere, from the mountains to bustling cities. For 6 months, El Chapo lived as a fugitive. He moved frequently, protected by loyal guards and corrupt officials. He even met with actors and journalists, reportedly hoping to tell his story to Hollywood. Yet, the net was closing in. Technology and informants slowly narrowed his hiding places. In January 2016, Mexican Marines stormed a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa. After a brief gunfight, El Chapo was captured. Once again, he was behind bars. But this time, authorities were determined not to let him escape again. El Chapo's story was too wild for even the movies. Soon Hollywood took notice. His life, filled with danger, cunning, and violence, became the subject of documentaries, news specials, and finally, a Netflix series simply titled El Chapo. The show recreated the dramatic escapes, the tunnel, and the cat-and-mouse games with the police. The series was a hit. Viewers around the world were amazed by the scale of the escape. Actors played out tense scenes inside the Altiplano prison, and digital artists recreated the legendary tunnel. For many, it was their first glimpse into the dark world of cartels and corruption in Mexico. The Netflix series blurred the line between fact and fiction, but one thing was clear. El Chapo's escape had become a legend. It was a story almost too outrageous to believe, but every detail was real. After his recapture, El Chapo was sent back to Altiplano, but this time, Mexican officials would not risk another embarrassment. In 2017, he was extradited to the United States. There, he stood trial in New York. The evidence was overwhelming. Witnesses, recordings, and confessions sealed his fate. The US court sentenced him to life in prison, plus 30 years. He was sent to ADX Florence in Colorado, the most secure prison in America. Known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies, ADX Florence is built for men like El Chapo, those who simply cannot be allowed to escape. Barred windows, remote location, and constant surveillance make escape impossible. El Chapo is now kept in a small cell for 23 hours a day, with almost no contact with the outside world. Today, El Chapo sits behind steel and concrete, surrounded by the tightest security on Earth. ADX Florence is designed for one thing: to keep dangerous men locked away forever. No tunnels, no visitors with hidden messages, no hope of slipping past guards. The lessons of Altiplano were harsh but clear. Authorities learned that even the best security can fail if corruption and carelessness take root. In the US, strict rules and constant monitoring leave no room for bribery. Every visitor, every letter, every movement is watched. El Chapo's Hollywood-style escape stunned the world, but in ADX Florence, the story ends. Now, escape is not just unlikely, it is impossible, and that perhaps is the final twist in this unbelievable tale.